I'd like to call the regular town board meeting of May 28th, 2025 to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and for those who continue to protect our country today. Thank you. Please note the emergency exits are the door you came in and the doors at the end of the hall and the one behind us. Danny Placini, the rec director, has a quick report. She's got to run back to work. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to give a quick update on what we have going on in June. Saturday, June 7th is Relay for Life. It's an event at Town Center Park. Our goal this year is $15,000. As of 4 o'clock this afternoon, we are at $10,959. So we're pretty close. We could use some more donations, raffles, or sponsors. Right now, we have lots of local sponsors for our raffles. Some of the large raffle prizes will be a Blackstone Grill, gift certificates to local businesses in town. We have a homemade guitar and birdhouses, and we'll have some local vendors like Sensi, Baby Bee Creations, Breezy Bandanas, dog necklaces, woodworking clocks, and crochet items. The day of, you can also purchase luminary bags for loved ones to show support or in memory of a loved one. Please come out and take a walk or two in support of those fighting the fight. It's at Town Center Park, again, June 7th from 1 to 6 p.m. On June 9th, we are having an emergency preparedness class, which is a Monday, and it's from 10:30 to 2 p.m. at the Beekman Rec Community Center. You must register by June 4th on our website, or you can call the office. You will receive an emergency preparedness backpack. The event is sponsored by Dutchess County Medical Reserve Corp. On Saturday, June 21st, we are having a yoga for diabetes class from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. That again is at the rec center. It is $20 for residents, $25 for non-residents. You can learn about foods that naturally stimulate GLP production and the relationship between diabetes, hormones, stress, and anxiety. You can register online or call our office to register.
Danny, I'm sorry, what was that date? I missed that one.
I'm sorry?
That date?
June 21st.
Thank you.
On June 27th, we are having opening day at the Rec Lake. It's going to be free to all residents from 1 to 8. There will be a free concert from 6 to 8 with Way Behind the Sun, who is a local Beekman couple that will be playing. We'll also be giving out free hot dogs and water. Again, that's from 1 to 8. On June 30th is opening day of the summer camp, and swim lessons will be offered. Our senior trip sign up for this month is to the Full Monty at the Forestburg Playhouse, and the event is July 2nd. We're taking registrations right now. I was introduced to this program called the Yellow Dot Program. It's from New York State law enforcement. It is a Yellow Dot program. We introduced it to seniors, and actually regular people are using it as well. What you do is you put this yellow dot on your vehicle, and you fill out this card, and you put the card in your glove compartment. If an emergency response person sees the dot, they know to look in your glove compartment for this with all your medical information and emergency contact information. You can also put the dot on your front door and put this in your freezer in a Ziploc bag, and they will know to look. If they see it on your front door, they'll look in your freezer for the information as well. I do have a few if anyone is interested, or you can stop by my office if anybody would like that. For anybody that doesn't know, our playground at TCP finally got opened a couple weeks ago. Thank God the weather has held up and we were able to have the rubber poured, so that is officially open. We will be having a official grand opening on Saturday, June 7th at 11 a.m. in the morning. All are welcome. Lastly, I just want to report that unfortunately, due to the weather, our basketball court resurfacing is going to be pushed to probably the end of, it will be done by the end of June. We were hoping it was going to be done before that, but due to the weather, they're a little behind schedule. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank Heather, both of you, for bringing back Relay to Life for Beekman.
You're welcome.
It's a cause that touches so many of us and our families. Both my parents passed as a result of cancer, so I particularly appreciate all your efforts, and please thank Heather, too.
I shall, thank you.
Thank you, and
I
thanks
have
for
to pop.
dropping by. Okay, let's see. I'll run through the agenda quickly. 1 through 8 are town board minutes. 9, we're approving a request to waive a 30-day notice for a liquor license for a local company in town. We have resolution number 10, we're approving the final payment for the Beekman Swim Pond, the permanent weir project. Let's see, resolution number 11, we're approving a contract with Putnam County Monuments for a Gold Star Family Monument. I think it's going to make a wonderful and appropriate addition to Remembrance Park. And then we have a settlement, resolution number 12 for a tax cert. Maybe Craig, do you have any other information other than what's in the resolution that you wanted to?
The tax cert?
Yeah.
Well, that was an estate that owned this property. It was a mobile home site, 13 pads, but apparently the condition was so bad that the sale price, which was arm's length, was paled in comparison to what it was assessed at as far as fair market value. So the assessor agreed with the petitioner that we had to value the subject property as of 12/29/23, which was the sale date, for $660,000, and that's why it appears on its face to be a large reduction. He said it was overassessed.
Okay, thank you. And then the last resolution is our payment of claims. And let's see. So we will open for public comment, and public comment for agenda items. Linda Schluter.
Linda Schluter, 15 Antler Court in Stone Ridge Estates. On March 25th, John Tickner asked about the minutes that were months and months and months behind, and you commented, Supervisor Cavucci, that none of you ever received these minutes. None of you ever received these minutes, ever. And I mean a litany of minutes. And then at the April 8th meeting, you started off with a conversation about all of these minutes that hadn't been posted, and you gave a litany of reasons why. They either weren't accepted, they weren't approved, they weren't written as drafts, whatever they were. So therefore, you weren't going to accept the minutes. They are written here as never received, they're written here as pulled, they're written here as something else. So your commentaries aren't even equal across the board. I noticed tonight, and I will get back to that statement, I noticed tonight, however, that in tonight's agenda, it says, and board members take note of this, number 1, accept May 5th, 2025 minutes. Then it says 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, accept all of these different minutes with no action taken next to it. And then number 8 says approve April 22nd, 2025 minutes. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were sitting in your seat and somebody said, accept, I would assume, since the supervisor creates the agenda, that that means you better vote yay. Having said that, excuse me, Mary.
I know, Linda.
I'm not finished.
But I think it was
I'm
clearly
not
a typo.
finished.
Of course you're not. Go right ahead.
This is not a typo.
Forgive me.
So let me finish.
Absolutely.
Thank you. On April 8th, when a town member came up to the podium, Holly O'Dell, she asked again, and you rattled off a litany of all these emails that went out to our town clerk, and also a spreadsheet that was made up of approved minutes and accepted minutes and whatever your descriptors were at the time, which, by the way, are not necessarily accurate. Then, at the April 22nd meeting, minutes numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were pulled, because of course you changed that. Some you put pulled, some you put not received in a timely fashion. And by the way, you also said that your process is that you have to get these minutes within 8 days. 8 days. That's not what Governor Hochul says. New York State law is 14 days, and it's 14 business days. So I wonder, are the business days, and I'm going to go on.
Of course you are. Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Go
I
right. Take as
appreciate
much
that.
time as you want.
I really
It's good to
appreciate
see
that.
you back.
Yeah. So when I look at these minutes, and I look at approved, accept, whatever, and you're telling me it's a typo, I'm not talking about whether you put accept or approve. I'm saying that next to them, on the right side of them, there's no comment that says no action taken. So you've already made the decision that you're going to accept the May 5th minutes. You've already made the decision you're going to approve the April 22nd. And by the way, to the residents in the state of New York, you don't have to approve or accept any minutes. All you have to do is post them. So when you all said that these weren't received, I don't think that's true. And you want to know why I know it's not true? Because they were posted on your website. Every one of them. I downloaded them, I printed them, I have them. I even provided some of those to the senior clerk. So when all of you sit there, elected officials, and say you never received, you were never copied on any of these minutes that were sent to the senior clerk, that just can't be true. It can't be true because I got them, and I printed them from your website. And according to you, Mary, the only person who can post on the website is your senior clerk, correct? And in addition to that, only if she's directed to. If she's not directed to, she can't post. So all of that being said, which is true and which is provable, help me to understand why now you have no comment after accept May 5th, no comment after approve April 22nd, but you have no action taken after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to assume, and if I'm incorrect, Merson, correct me. I'm going to assume that you're going to accept 1 and 8, and you're not going to accept the rest of them. Bob Merson, you're my neighbor, you're a representative, you represent the public, you have every right to comment on that. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Linda, I'm going to address the minutes towards the end of the meeting.
I don't want you to address the minutes.
No,
I want board members'
Yeah,
voices.
okay. I'm going to address the minutes, and some of your other comments I will address. We've gone back and forth with emails. You've made your point. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I want an explanation.
Okay, well, I'm not giving you one now.
Of course you're not.
But thank you for your comments.
Of course you're not.
Thank you. Okay, nobody else is up for comments. So, Merson, would you like to begin?
Resolution number 1, the acceptance of past town board minutes. Whereas Town Clerk Lorena Abatantuano has provided copies of the minutes of the May 5th, 2025 special town board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, and whereas town board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby accepts the minutes of the May 5th, 2024 special town board meeting.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Just so you know, I wasn't present at that meeting. Just want to let you guys all know that. So which one did you just read?
May 5th, the special meeting.
So which one is that?
It's Resolution 1.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Benalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 2, whereas Town Clerk Lorraine Abentuono has provided copies of the minutes of the October 8th, 2024 regular Town Board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, whereas the Town Board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts the minutes of the October 8th, 2024 regular Town Board meeting.
Second?
That one was pulled.
Oh.
That one we're not voting, it needs too many corrections.
What's that?
It needed too many corrections, so we're not taking actions. You're going to go to number 8. You're right. Okay, go ahead. No, Linda, excuse me, we have procedures for the meeting. You're out of order. No, actually, Linda, you are out of order, and I'm going to ask you to respect the town board meeting. Excuse me. You had more than your 3 minutes, Linda. You had more than your 3 minutes.
God forbid I had more than
Right.
3 minutes,
Please sit
right?
down, so you're interrupting our meeting.
You cannot,
You are interrupting our meeting.
wordsmith, minutes.
Craig?
Once they've been posted, you cannot, Mr. Wallace,
So
answer that
this-
question. You cannot go back.
Greg,
Absolutely not. By the way, you could have your narrative, okay, and your version of the facts, but you can't make them up, all right?
You're right, you
So, first of all, you don't address the board for questions and answers. This isn't a question and answer session. With respect to the minutes, I've been overseeing a lot of emails, and they're incomplete. There are many motions, there are many resolutions that aren't even included in the first draft. I don't know if they are rectified later on. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. All right? But they shouldn't be posted until the board accepts them. I think they were watermarked as draft.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
All right.
Okay.
okay. You go ahead to...
All right, so we'll move on to resolution number 8. Whereas Town Clerk Lorraine Abentuono has provided copies of the minutes of the April 22nd, 2025 regular Town Board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, whereas Town Board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts the minutes of the April 22nd, 2025 regular Town Board meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Benalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Whereas Pam Cartwright, Inc., doing business at 8 Pleasant Ridge Road, Pookway, New York, in the town of Beekman, New York, under the name Kindred Creek Farms, Inc., intends to file for a New York State liquor license. And whereas pursuant to alcohol beverage law, control law, section 64-2A, an applicant must give municipalities 30 days' notice of a pending liquor license application, unless the municipality consents to waive the 30-day requirement. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Beekman hereby waives the 30-day notice period in regard to allowing Pam Cartwright, Kindred Creek Farms, Inc., an earlier submission of the liquor license application.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Benalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Whereas by Resolution 10-8-25-5, the Town Board approves pay app number 1 in the amount of $204,087.52, less 5% retainage of $10,204.38, for a total of $193,883.14 to Kingston Equipment Rental, Inc., And whereas by Resolution 12-11-24-7, the Town Board approved payout number 2 in the amount of $204,087.52, less 1.5% retainage, $3,061.32, for a total of $7,143.06 to Kingston Equipment Rental Inc. And whereas the town engineer has observed the work area and has determined that the grass has survived the winter months to his satisfaction, and whereas the town engineer recommends that the final payment date, May 8th, 2025, be paid, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Beekman Town Board authorizes the final payment to Kingston Equipment Rentals Inc. in the amount not to exceed $3,061.32.
May I make a friendly amendment? I think I typed that incorrectly. The second payment should be December 11th, 2025, which would come after the October 8th, 2025. I've got 24 there. I think it should read 25.
25, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I need a second for her friendly
I'll
amendment.
second it.
Okay, all in favor of the friendly amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, roll call vote for the resolution.
I'll get it to you later. We'll get it to you later.
Who seconded that?
Who
Who
seconded
seconded the
the
resolution?
resolution?
I,
No, for me.
oh, you didn't?
He read it. Who
Okay,
seconded it?
who seconded?
I did not.
You did not.
All right,
I'll
let's have a
second
second. Okay, thank you. Roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Benalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Cavucci.
Whereas the town of Beekman wishes to honor and remember their Gold Star families with a monument and plaque to be placed in Remembrance Park, and whereas the town board has solicited quotes in conformity with its purchasing policy and received several responses for the purchase and installation of the monument and plaque to be added to Remembrance Park. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board awards the project to Putnam County Monuments in the amount of $4,708 for the bronze plaque with purple background and the granite monument base. And be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign a contract with Putnam County Monuments in an amount not to exceed $4,708 as attached herewith.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Benalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution 12, the resolution authorizing the settlement of tax cert proceeding regarding Aldell Property 3 LLC. Whereas there is now pending in the Dutchess County Supreme Court a tax cert proceeding commenced in 2024 by Aldell Property 3 LLC regarding certain real property located in the town of Beekman and designated as tax map number 6759-00-721220, 2585 Poquag, New York, 12570, on the official assessment map seeking a change in the tax assessment for the property as shown on the 2024 tax assessment roll. And whereas the town assessor and town attorney have recommended a negotiated settlement of the 2024 tax review, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman hereby approves a settlement on behalf of the town of Beekman of the tax review proceeding for the tax year 2024 as it pertains to tax map number 6759-00-721220 at 2585 Route 55, Poquag, New York, 12570. The assessment roll is 2024. The original assessment, $888,500. Corrected assessed value, $441,210. Reduction on assessed value, $447,290. Resolved that the town supervisor, town assessor, and town attorney to the town of Beekman are hereby authorized to take all action necessary and appropriate to effectuate the terms of this resolution.
I'll second it.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Benalini.
Aye.
Councilman Limak.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution 13, payment of claims. Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law, as set forth in the attached abstracts, be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claims to be paid from the A General Fund, $148,124.19. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $55,824.38. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $5,486.52. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $2,940.37. Claims to be paid from the T Trust and Agency Fund, $10,983.96. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $11,899.69, for a total of $235,259.11. April 4th, 2025, payroll number 9, out of the general fund, $36,792.21. Out of the highway fund, $23,408.98, for a total of $60,201.19. May 8th, 2025, payroll number 10, out of the general fund, $37,656.53. Out of the highway fund, $21,206.70, for a total of $58,863.23. May 22nd, 2025, payroll number 11, out of the general fund, $37,331.13. Out of the highway fund, $23,936.50, for a total of $61,267.63.
I'll second.
Town board discussion?
Just for the record, the payroll number 9 is April 24th, 2025, not April 4th, 2025. Just wanted to clear that up.
Is that what I said? Okay, 24th. Thank you.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Remack?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci? Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Okey doke. Let's see. We'll move on to public comments. Linda Schluter. I'd appreciate for public comments if we keep it to 3 minutes. Well, I would appreciate it.
I would appreciate a lot of
Since you've
things that I
had
don't get.
significant amount of
Excuse
time
me,
tonight.
excuse me.
Go
I'll
right
start.
ahead.
Thank you. I'm from Stone Ridge Estates. That is off Bentonmore Road. Help me to understand, board members, why 3 years have gone by that you have held 18 homeowners, taxpayers, hostage by not dedicating 2 roads. I know why you're not dedicating the roads, because the builder didn't complete your pedestrian trail to nowhere. But it's confusing to me that you would hold us hostage, not getting mail, not getting busing, not getting snow plowing for 3 years. So help me to understand that. Got an answer? I'll keep going.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. So, there's a pedestrian trail, and since Danny addressed the residents, I'm going to address the residents. There's a pedestrian trail in Stone Ridge Estates. It goes absolutely nowhere. Not only does it not go anywhere, it ends at Bentonmore Road, and it ends actually at Beekman Road. It's a county road. You don't have an easement to cross that county road, despite the fact that they argue that they're going to connect it somewhere down the line. On the other side of Bentonmore Road is Greenhaven. And that trail system that has no coordinates on the plot map, by the way, dead ends into private property and Greenhaven property. Who's going to walk that? I sent pictures of a rope with tie knots on it that you would actually have to hold on to get down one part of this trail system and to go back up this trail system. And you're going to hold on to that trail system, keep us hostage for how many more years until you go after the builder? They have a bond of $244,000 that they're holding against the builder, who, by the way, I don't support at all. They know that. But they're holding on to this bond. Now, if they call in the bond, and I think Mr. Wallace would agree with this, if they call in the bond, they really can only use the portion of the bond that reflects what's not done on the pedestrian trail, and that is wood chips. Now, when I saw Mr. Wallace and the builder and the town engineer and the the builder's attorney, the summer of 2023, I was told by the town engineer that the only thing left are the wood chips and some signage. That was it. And then lo and behold, there's this letter that's responded to by the board's attorney on a number of issues where it clearly states that the reason they're not dedicating the roads is because they know without a doubt that he's going to walk away, the builder, from finishing this pedestrian trail. I agree with you. He's not going to finish this trail. He's never going to finish this trail. You know he's not going to finish this trail. And yet you're holding us hostage. So you have a couple of choices. One, you eliminate it. Now, I say you eliminate it because, Mary, you encouraged me in 2020, and remember, I keep everything. You encouraged me in 2020 to get signatures from all the homeowners saying that we wanted the trail system extinguished, to go to the planning board, to plead our case. We went week after adjournment after adjournment, and yet nothing happened. They chose not to eliminate the trail. And you also said you were going to send a letter in support of that recommendation, our recommendation. Well, you sent the letter, but it was really wishy-washy. It was, well, we can't contravene the planning board's decision, and it's your decision. Nothing about, yes, we don't want to do that. Because, residents, you have to pick up the liability on that. You have to pick up the liability in that walking trail if anybody gets hurt. And if you saw the topography, I'm telling you, you can't walk it. I can't walk it. Even John Frustacci, who came over, couldn't walk down that one slope. Couldn't do it. So you have to pick up that liability. You also have to pick up the liability, the maintenance, and the policing of a little parking area that went along with it. Now, why? Why? Why is this trail, why are you so hung up on this trail of nowhere that you hold us hostage without accepting our roads that the highway superintendent accepted 3 years ago? Why? I'll stop.
Thank you.
May I answer that?
Yes.
So it's not just about the trail, all right? This particular project.
Can you speak up, please?
Sure. This particular development was passed, I believe, before any of the members on the board started serving, I think in 2008. And it was through a different developer. And the planning board back then actually imposed conditions on that subdivision approval. It was incumbent upon the developer to satisfy those conditions so the map could be filed and a HOA could be formed properly. And there was a process for that. In fact, Mr. O'Donnell was a subsequent buyer of that subdivision. I don't know what he understood he had to do, but he didn't do any of the conditions that were part of the original site plan approval. So what happens next is there are creating documents that were with the Attorney General's office that actually made it incumbent upon the developer to collect $300 from each homeowner at closing to create a homeowners association, which was never done.
Yes, it was.
Okay? It was never done. It was never properly done.
Okay.
All right? So I'm addressing the board. All right?
Thank you, Fred.
The situation spiraled out of control, and he made numerous applications, at least 3 during my tenure here, to get his bond reduced. And that is the only job, actually, that this town board can do with respect to that subdivision is reduce a bond, okay, at the recommendation of the planning board. But by reducing a bond, he would have walked. And I commend the town board for standing, on its principles and not releasing or reducing that bond to a level that he would have just walked away, and it would have been the responsibility of all the homeowners of Stone Ridge Estates and the taxpayers of the town of Beekman to pick up the pieces and pay the mess to restore it to its original conditions that were imposed by the planning board. That would have been a waste of money, a waste of taxpayer money,
Because we
had
don't
they
count.
not done so.
So they did reduce the bond, by the way, from $1.3 million to $386,000, down to $244,000 in March of 2024. Now, they can't reduce it more than $224,000 because there's a 20% cap on that. I understand all of this. And with all due respect, I don't have any respect for our builder at all, except for this one situation. This one situation continues to have affected our lifestyles, all 18 of us, of which Merson is one, for 3 years, and there is no end in sight. So when you say there's nothing the board can do, you wrote in your letter to his attorney, in sum, the town's position is that your client's application for reduction is in bad faith. This is before they reduced it, 3 months before they reduced it, due to his intent to default on his site plan responsibilities related to the pedestrian trail. It doesn't say that he defaulted on anything else in the plan. It just says pedestrian trail.
May I address
Any
that?
allegations? Let me finish. These are your words.
Yeah.
Any allegation
You're taking
of-
my words out of context, so I'd like to address the board when she's done.
I'll read the whole thing if you want me to, Mr. Wallace, because you contradicted yourself in a couple of places.
Okay.
But you said sum and substance is, when you say in sum in a letter, I'm a reading specialist, so I understand that. When you say in sum, that means he's going to default on his site plan responsibilities related to the pedestrian trail. You also said any allegations of leveraging by the town is meritless in light of your client's clear intention, he's writing to the builder's attorney, to abandon the pedestrian trail. Mr. O'Donnell is in material non-compliance of his subdivision conditions, ... He is. I agree. I totally agree with Mr. Wallace. I totally agree he's in default. So sue him. So take him to court. Take the $244,000 back, finish your trail that you so desperately want, put the wood chips on it, clear it again, because it was cleared. It was cleared. You misrepresented with the pictures that you attached to this. I walked that trail that summer. I walked it with my family. I walked it with my grandkids. It was cleared. They cleared behind my house. They cleared where my husband used to hunt. They cleared across from Benton Moore Road. It was totally clear, ready for wood chips. You stood right next to Dan when I asked what's left to be done in this development to get these roads dedicated, and he said two things: some signage and some wood chips. Then not a couple of months later, these letters fly out.
Okay, I think you've had way more than your 3 minutes. Thank you, Linda.
I want some answers.
Okay, well, you're not going to get them. He'll make his comment, and we're having a meeting with, I believe, Mrs. O'Leary? Is
Yeah,
that
Ms.
her name?
O'Leary.
So we'll give you some
Oh,
comments at that
that's
point.
wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
So what happened, that letter is actually taken out of context. And so is the conversation with Mr. Kohler, because I was there for that conversation. He told Ms. Schluter what, from his perspective, the town engineer's perspective, what was outstanding. I wasn't asked about the legal conditions that were still outstanding, which were many. And in addition, he wanted a total exoneration of his performance bond. He wanted to have this board release him from that bond, and then we all know he would have just walked away. I think that he at the same time, he said, I'll take a reduction to $4,500, because in 2008, when the estimates for the trail were given, the wood chips would have cost maybe $4,500 in materials, in labor. But when you fast forward 17 years, with all this overgrowth and the trail has now changed shape, it's changed form, it's become overgrown. So that was the reason why the board stood firm and refused to reduce it any further than the $222,000.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Julianne Rancourt?
I'll be back.
That'll be great.
Good evening. Gonna be short. I want to thank the highway department to put the banner and the flag, and my liaison in here, they put that big flag on the silo, and thank Laureen to forever, and my chauffeur, Mrs. Hogan, was so thrilled, and you gave her a bouquet of flowers. Of course, I had to lie, but she said, "Who told Laureen I'm big?" I said, I lied, I didn't say it.
Well, she deserves
So
them.
that was a very, I must admit, everybody participated, and that was very nice, clean. And we didn't get it for 4 years, but nobody fought. 2 years of COVID, 2 years of rain. So the weather was cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julian.
Bill Crane?
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. I have trouble following all those details about the Stonecrest situation, but I do know that their circumstances are hurting, and something should be done to make their situation better. That's what I think. I want to give a statement that I've written out to be precise about it. In February, the Planning Board granted Savannah Estates on Beekman Road and Greenhaven Road permission to cut down trees before it obtained final construction approval. Despite the protest of several residents, the town board adopted a resolution that allowed the early tree removal to occur, contingent on the owners posting a bond. The applicant removed the trees in late March within the permitted time frame, but it cut down 45 trees it was supposed to leave standing. This action violated your board's bond resolution. In addition, the owner cut down 13 more trees on a neighbor's property. And then to top it all off, the owner came back in May and cut down 6 more trees. 2 months after it was permitted during the breeding season of an endangered species, the Indiana bat. Our town's building instructor appropriately has issued a stop work order on Savannah Estates. At its May meeting, the planning board discussed the planting of young trees as compensation, but mature trees cannot simply be replaced. They do too much for nature. Among other things, they provide homes for wildlife and store large amounts of carbon dioxide, which ameliorates global warming. Indeed, young trees require decades of growth before they provide the gifts that older trees bestow. Now, here's the situation. The Savannah Estates owner, a property holding company, has also submitted a plan to cut down 532 trees on Baker Road. This project is called Baker Estates. This owner has proven to be careless and indifferent to the value of trees. I believe the town board should permanently stop the Baker Estates project. He violated your resolution. It's in your hands. If the board is unwilling to take this step, it should at least require the owner to submit a new plan that protects most of the trees it now plans to destroy. And the owner should pay for an independent construction engineer and landscape architect to supervise every step of any tree removal. Now, in closing, if I sound like, I'm too passionate about this, take a drive over there and look at what they've done. Take a look. And if you don't feel hurt in your stomach, I can't believe you won't. What other part of your body, your soul, whatever part of the body that is affected by a devastation of nature, just this group is out of control. You got to stop it. You got to stop them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Anybody?
I have comments that I need to make. So just a couple of things. Thank you for Julian for that. The parade went and the ceremony went off really well, and proud of myself for doing that. A lot of work. Thank you, Jason, for your help as well. Two other things. I got a letter today. I'm going to include it, and I'm going to scan it and send it to the board from a resident regarding the stop sign on Garden Hollow Extension in Church. So I will make you guys copy, and I will scan that as well. And then the last day to pay taxes, property taxes, the season has gone very, very well. The last day to pay is Sunday, but you do have an extension because the 31st falls on a weekend, so you have it until the 1st. So the last day basically to pay is June 1st. So if you guys need or have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Other than that, thank you again for your support. On Monday, it was a great day.
Okay. So, everybody else is good?
Good.
Okay. So my next comments are mine and not the town board. And it's an attempt to add some transparency and hopefully some change to this negative, hostile social media that has been going around and operating for the last several years. But in particular, the last year and a half have been very toxic. The staff has come to me as well as to the town board with concerns about starring in this social media dramas, these toxic sites. Many staff have been brought to tears. They do not want to be ripped apart by the horse manure allegations and innuendos that appear on these sites. Unfortunately, it's out of the town board hands.
Mary, does that include?
Excuse me,
Does that
excuse me,
include people going after the town clerk? I'm just asking if that includes the town clerk.
You know you run these sites. I'm having my comments.
I'm asking you though if it runs.
This is not a debate.
I'm not debating you. I'm just asking you because you're addressing the town board. So does that include the clerk?
But you're not the town board.
Oh, so it's okay for your buddies to do that to me?
I'm not making
I'm just
any
making
comments.
sure.
Okay, you make
Of course you're not. I'm just checking. I want you to say on camera that it's okay, that your friends do it to me.
Excuse me, you may not take
I know, Mary. Go ahead.
words in my mouth.
I'm not. I'm just asking you a question.
So the staff is distraught on a regular basis. I apologize to them. I do what I can. Some of them who responded over the last year and a half have been blocked when they voice their opinion or attempt to set the record straight. Residents have been too. So much for transparency and change. Others simply have removed themselves because it's caused so much stress. The depth of dishonesty is just too much for many of them. I was accused at the last meeting of creating the toxic bullying work environment. I encourage anyone who cares about the truth to visit Town Hall.
Please.
Come and speak to our employees downstairs
Please
that I work with
because you know what she has? She has people walking outside my office.
Enlightening. It might be enlightening.
It's on your...
Excuse me. It's not a debate. You've had your time. You've all, the crowd that's here shouting out has had their opportunities for a year and a half to attack me. I've sat here at the meetings. I've kept it professional. I've not responded. I'm going to respond now. Thank you. I have a wonderful relationship with these dedicated employees, and I feel terrible about the situation.
Because you bully them and you're toxic to them.
And it has become so stressful for them. Please come and talk to them. There are lots. I want to review some of the toxic comments and set the record straight.
This is totally inappropriate.
No. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm going to have my say. I have sat here respectfully for a year and a half, and listened to you do this. Excuse me. This is not, again, not about you. And that... excuse me, it's not about you, okay?
Make a motion to have the people who are not following the rules of decorum.
Oh, they can all stay and shout out, because I think people need to see what
Oh, they
we've all
do.
tolerated. So there's been comments about the meetings and having them changed and controversy over the dates. So for tonight's, excuse me, okay? So for tonight, on social media, so it was, the date for tonight was switched because of grievance day, okay? It was in the records for January 8th. It was Resolution 4, set the board meetings, and it said the 27th. Resolution number 5, and I'm going to read it, okay? Resolution number 5, grievance day is the 4th Tuesday in May. Whereas the Town of Beekman Grievance Day will be held on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, 4 Main Street, Poquay. And whereas this date conflicts with the May 27 Town Board meeting, now therefore be it resolved that the second Town Board meeting in May will be held on Wednesday, May 28, 2025 at 6 p.m. It was clearly stated in the January meeting. It was correct on the calendar on the website. It was correct on the calendar in the town clerk's office. In planning meetings in January over a 12-month, there understandably are going to be some additions, some eliminations. There's nothing nefarious about it. I mean, as a matter of fact, just to let you know, we will not be having 2 meetings in July and August. There's conflicts with vacation. Every year we move to 1 meeting. It'll be the second meeting in July and August. So there really isn't any controversy over this, yet it starred in some ugly social media comments. Greg Brown. Greg Brown was a dedicated town employee. You can ask the soccer group, you can ask back, you can ask the rec director, the former rec director, the present rec director. A gentleman has come over a period of time, frankly years, and has smeared his good name, and it's despicable. It's just despicable. He's called me upset, irate, not knowing what he can do about it. And it's so unfortunate that has created a stressful situation for someone who put in endless time to this town and to the, more importantly, to the children of this town, because he was, dedicated to the children in this town, okay? And you can ask anyone involved in the sports. We have given endless explanations and corrections. We have filled endless FOIL requests over this about him. March 20th, 2019, it was in the minutes. Town Attorney Paul Ackerman gave a brief statement addressing the public statement made by a town resident regarding a payment made to a town employee back in 2017. It was discovered via an internal audit that this employee was not being paid overtime, which under federal regulations said employees were entitled to. In order to come into compliance with FSLA laws, the town acted appropriately and in compliance with the law in compensating the employee. Paul advised the public that the Sheriff's Department conducted an investigation. I've talked about it. I have paperwork about it to prove the amount of hours that he worked. Additionally, frankly, I'm pretty darn sure he worked more than the hours that we compensated him for because they weren't written down, and legally we weren't allowed to do that. I've addressed this situation. I've encouraged the gentleman who's offended by this. A detective came in. It took me 2 months to put it together. I had everything laid out on that table. He went through everything. The town attorney was there. Sharon was there. And he said when he was finished, clearly there is no crime. The law clearly states the confusion started because he was originally a salary.
This is 7 years old. We all know that.
No.
I don't dispute it.
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry, but his name is smeared. I know it doesn't mean anything to you. No, 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 excuse me, it comes here. It comes here. Excuse me, excuse me.
family.
Okay, excuse me.
And Mary, thank you for addressing it.
Thank you. Paul advised the public that the Sheriff's Department conducted the investigation into the complaint of the town resident who addressed this issue and determined that no crime was committed and closed the case. This gentleman has gone to the troopers. You know, keep going. Go to the AG, go to the DA. Nothing was done inappropriately, and it's so unfortunate that a man who dedicated his life to the children and the sports teams would, on a regular basis, by this individual, can come and do this. It's really, and I'll tell you what's even worse, honestly, about this individual who keeps coming attacking him. And I've discussed this at a prior meeting. Several years ago in the fall, that gentleman was arrested for putting up a poster, not a poster, it was like a giant billboard on his truck, of a woman who was topless with the face of a judge, a female judge that he was angry at. He was arrested in the town of Carmel over that, okay? It was a despicable act, and this is the guy who's going to challenge Greg Brown's integrity. It's despicable, just totally despicable. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Thank you, but I'm still talking, thank you, thank you. Another issue that came up and, you know, was twisted was the Comcast agreement. I agree, everyone's unhappy with the Comcast agreement. A resolution from 12/4/13 to authorize this offered the following and moves for its adoption. The town is desirous of renewing the franchise agreement with Comcast for the continued operation of a cable system within the town. This agreement was done, as I said, in 2013. Not one board member sitting here tonight voted for that. The contract expires in 2028. But on social media, it was clearly, you know, and I understand people don't like Comcast, but that clearly this particular town board had lined our pockets and a variety of other things, and, you know, toxic, really just another pile of horse manure put out there for the public. Then another issue was, why nefariously last summer did we have a new website created? Well, I'm going to answer that. I've answered it before, but I'm going to answer it again. Social media innuendo indicates some underhand reason why this occurred at the same time of an introduction of a local law. The town board for several years has been addressing the deficiencies with regard to ADA federal requirements townwide. The prior website was not ADA compliant. We contacted Dutchess County to assist in the upgrade in June of 2023, a full year before it happened. We had to get in the queue with the county before we could go. The county has assisted a number of municipalities in accomplishing this upgrade. We moved ahead with it, and all of this was done by resolution during the year and voted on at a town board meeting in public. Total transparency. Nothing nefarious, simply a planned upgrade. Now, additionally, I had read that cybersecurity, and we were going to be required to move to a .gov website, which is what we did. And New York State General Municipal Law, Chapter 24, Article 13E, that came down after the fact, requires all municipal corporations with a population greater than 1,500 persons to maintain an official website with a .gov domain name and update the website regularly. And what we had done, knowing all of this was coming down, we did it in one package to make it as efficient as possible. Again, nothing nefarious.
I don't know where you're getting your information from, but I don't see any of those postings.
The open meeting law is another one that stars on social media on a regular basis. that we were required to post the agenda 48 hours before a town board meeting. Well, the actual law is New York State Open Meeting Law, Public Officers Law, Article 7, Section 103. Open meetings and executive sessions. Agency records available to the public pursuant to Article 6 of this chapter, as well as any proposed resolution, law, rule, regulation, policy, or any amendment thereto that is scheduled to be the subject of discussion by a public body during an open meeting shall be made available upon request, therefore, to the extent practical, at least 24 hours prior to the meeting. 24 hours, not 48 hours. I've repeatedly clarified that, but it still comes back up. It's like a rerun of horse manure that gets put out there occasionally. Some residents at the last meeting questioned why we were having an audit for 2 more accounts. So I just want to respond to that. About a year ago in the summer, well, I guess it wasn't in a year, in August or whatever, some residents advocated for a town audit wide by the State Controller's Office. And as a matter of fact, we have the State Controller who was scheduled to come in, has been in. She's now doing a town-wide audit, which I look forward to. But you're questioning why we added the 2 other accounts to audit, the town clerk and the tax receiver. The person who spoke last, and let's just, put it right out there, right? Is the town clerk's husband, accused me of bullying by having an independent audit done of his wife's accounts. 100%. Exactly, thank you. He's also called for a pay raise and more staff, which surely would cause more taxes to pay for these additional costs. It is only prudent that accounts are audited. And I find it interesting that the residents who called for a town-wide audit, I know, and now don't want an audit of certain accounts. So is that a possibly an audit for thee, but not for me? That's the way it sounds
Mary,
to me.
you can audit me.
Excuse me. No, that's the way you put it. I want to, excuse me. Excuse me. If my, you can do what you want, but I can tell you right now, okay, that my husband comes to every meeting in the last 8 years. He has never stood up and injected himself defending me in any way. You have every right, but I don't care, but I have to tell you, he never stands up to defend me. That man and my son came to one meeting.
Well, then shame on him.
And sat, let me tell you something, he understands.
Shame on him for not defending you.
A very capable woman who can stand up for herself.
And so am I, Mary.
I don't need
That's why you don't like me.
anyone behind me. So let me explain something. In 8 years, excuse me, no, I would be horrified as a resident if someone stood up, to me that's a red flag, and said, hey, don't do my wife's accounts. Okay, right. So let me explain something. Right. So
Jason, why don't you get up here and say what you want to say?
We lost our rating. Our Moody's rating.
Not due to me, Mary.
I'm
not due to me.
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
Well, I can finish this if you wouldn't mind.
Well, I'm just making sure that you know it wasn't because of me.
It has nothing to do with you.
But keep spinning what you're doing.
Nothing to do with you. Excuse me. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to stay. It's okie dokie.
I'm a taxpayer, I will be.
Well, you can stay, but that's fine. Shortly after my first term in January of 2018, we lost our ratings because the prior administrations had a lack of independent audits. Due to the dedicated financial staff providing our independent audits, we finally were given a rating back in 2020 of a AA3. In February of 2023, it was upgraded to a AA2, which is the third highest rating out of 21 ratings in Moody's. And this is what they said. The upgrade to AA2 of Beekman's insurer rating reflects its strong and improving reserves liquidity position driven by years of conservative budgeting and strict financial oversight. The ratings also incorporates the town's stable and healthy local economy with below average property wealth and strong resident income profile and modest long-term liabilities and fixed costs. The financial position is likely to remain strong and stable in the near term, given conservative budget management and sound fund balance policy. The town has maintained surplus operations over the last 5 years, leading to a strong available fund balance. The tax levy has remained level over the last 3 years without drawdown of its available reserves. The 2023 budget will continue its conservative budgeting practices, and management aims to maintain balanced operations. Additionally, the town was allocated approximately $1.5 million of ARPA funds, which will be used for infrastructure and capital improvements. Management anticipates to fund the majority of capital projects through designated capital reserve funds and ARPA funding, and keeps the financing level at a minimum. The town has issued short-term debt bans over the past 2 years for various capital improvements. Management expects the bans will be paid off in the near future, and they were, given its robust reserve level. Now, we have, this is a board, excuse me, this is a board who worked hard with our finance department to do that. Our ARPA funds went to the Gardner Hollow Bridge, which was essential for a one-way in and one-way out. The town salt shed project, which is a shared project with the Dutchess County. The town Center Park project, which was repairs of a playground, our playgrounds, and a brand new playground. Doherty Park project, which was drainage and a road to make it more usable for everyone and safety, lack of liability. And then our pond improvement project, we've been trying to complete that weir for many, many years, and it was a project that has been finished. These large projects had to be done, and they would have required taxes for everyone to be raised. These projects benefited all the town taxpayers by using ARPA funds to finance them rather than raising taxes.
And you waited until December 30th to actually allocate, because you would have lost all that money if you hadn't allocated it. On December 30th, that meeting that no one can attend, that you allowed no one to speak at.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So then, fireworks have been another issue going around in social media. The last time we had fireworks at the rec, we had, according to the last rec director, and we had a conversation about it, maybe 35, 40 people. She felt at that time that the money spent on the fireworks would be put to better use for the tax dollars for the benefit of more residents by doing different things. So in 2019, we moved that money to 6 events. A dance party, we had summer camp, drums, summer sing-alongs, an ice cream social, a 9/11 bus trip down to the museum. We had an American Museum of Natural History, that one was canceled. But we moved the money into other projects. We didn't take that money from the recreation budget. In 20 and 21, things were canceled for COVID. In 22, it went into the campfires and bands. In 2023, it went into concerts, kite day, campfire. In 2024, concerts and their campfires that they do for the children. So all of that money was put to good use.
Excuse me, why wasn't anything allocated for the parade for Memorial Day? Did the town board fund that?
Oh, yes.
Did anybody volunteer to help?
We actually have money allocated for that.
Where was
Okay.
the whole town board when everything had to be done for the parade?
Well, as a matter of fact,
I didn't get
I'm
any
so...
phone calls or texts asking me for help.
You shouldn't have to, you should just say.
Okay, excuse me. Sharon Warman, every other year, excuse me. See,
Are we
this is the
done?
problem. No, we're not done.
Oh.
You know, she was attacked on social media.
Mary, she attacked me on social media.
me.
Excuse you, because I'm going to talk,
I'm not- no,
okay?
you're not.
Because
No,
Sharon made a
you
comment and
are
she
not.
didn't like my reply.
You are
She
not.
didn't like my reply
You are
because
not.
somebody came after her.
Excuse me.
Just like you.
Excuse
You
me.
don't like it. You can dish it out, but you can't take it.
I
That's your
have to tell you,
problem.
there's
And now that I'm running against you,
there's-
you do everything.
You're not running
You're running
against me.
scared. That's what you're doing.
I'm
Goodbye.
terrified. Excuse me.
You are terrified because you would have ran against me, but you chose not to. And you make excuses, I'm sick. But meanwhile, you're in Arizona.
Yeah.
Give me a break,
Well, that
Mary.
happens to be where my grandchildren are.
I know.
And I was for First
I know.
Communion.
Disgrace that note
I
from
know.
our town board.
Sharon Warman
Okay.
has, on a regular basis since we've been on the board, ironed the buntings, myself and her and my
Then why
husband-
weren't they done this year?
Excuse me.
Then why weren't they done this year? Because you were trying to make it, you were trying to make the ceremony for our veterans a disaster.
Oh, please.
Because if I didn't do it, it wouldn't have gotten done.
Excuse
That's
me.
exactly what you were trying to do. But you know what? Your plan didn't work
I know.
once again.
Excuse
Didn't
me.
work once again, Mary.
So-
And Craig can
Okay.
sit there and look at you and not say a word, but allow this nonsense.
Okay.
Because it's
Thank you.
nonsense, and you know
Okay.
it's nonsense.
No.
You are a
I'm
joke.
dealing with the horse manure that's on.
No, you're the only
social
horse
media.
manure.
So let me explain something. We have done it every other year. We don't take pictures. We're not about self-promotion. I would say,
Oh, here we go.
do you see it? Thank you. Okay. I know. And I want everyone to know, these are Lorraine's supporters. These are the people who
They are my
support me.
supporters.
They
And I have
constantly
1,000 more.
disrupt our meetings. So
Right,
let
they
me
come and
finish.
disrupt.
This is the first time I've responded in a year and a half. It's fascinating. No, I'm not finished. I am not finished. Right.
Keep reading your script, go ahead.
Thank you, I really appreciate that. Okay, so. No, I know.
I hope,
I know. You know what? I want to tell you something.
I
Thank
hope
you for
everybody
getting
is
back to
watching
that.
this
I
out
wanna
there,
tell you
and you see how she is and what I deal with every
Sharon
single day.
Warman's family.
Every day.
Let me tell you about Sharon Warman's family. They are natives to this town. Her parents, her mother served as a town clerk. No. Her father served on the town board. Her husband.
There you go, self-serving
served
people.
You've never heard that from me or her, and you'd never hear it from her. Served on the fire department. This is a family of service. This is a family of service. Let me repeat this. Right. Excuse me. You know what? I'm from the Bronx. No, I'm from the Bronx. If you clearly have a chip on your shoulder, dear, because I was welcomed with open arms because there are many of us up here from the Bronx.
Then why don't you welcome everybody?
Sorry.
How come you call them
But I'm gonna
transplants?
tell you, Linda, you may not. Linda,
Respectfully.
no, there is no respect.
We
No,
respectfully.
you have no respect
We
for me.
all need
Stop
to
it.
stop.
No,
We
please,
all need
excuse
to
me.
stop.
Go sit down. Go and sit.
You
You're
need
not
to take a breath.
interrupting the meeting.
We need to take a breath.
If you,
and we
no,
need to
that's
have
fine. When I'm finished.
civil conversations.
You're right. When I'm finished. So.
That will be never.
Thank you. That was civil. Thank you. That was so civil, Linda. So civil for me, but not for thee. Again. So,
Guys, this is why we need change, right
I
here.
know. And transparency and change.
Oh, yes.
Transparency and change.
Yeah.
So Sharon and I and my husband were scheduled to meet each other. We did not put these things up early, the bunting, because it rained and we didn't want them looking soggy
Right.
and ugly. We were coming after the fact.
Then why did you tell me that they were in your office when I
You asked
emailed
me.
you?
You asked me.
Why didn't you say you were coming to put them up?
You asked
said,
me.
I said, where
Where
are the
are they?
buntings?
And I
And you
told you
said,
where they were.
they are in my office on the file cabinet. You could have said, Sharon and I are coming to put them up, but you didn't.
You asked.
So there goes
Right,
my
you're right.
response to
You're
you.
right. Okay.
When she
So-
gives me respect, she'll get it back.
Okay, excuse me.
Talk about, I'm born and raised in this town, and this is a disgrace.
It is, but that doesn't make you, excuse me, but that doesn't make you any more special than our
I'm not special,
so-called
but-
transplants. We're just as important as you. Exactly, we should be treated equally.
But the respect.
There is no respect from our board. My husband was attacked. Don't talk
Okay.
to me about respect.
Excuse me, can I finish? Excuse me, can I finish? Thank you.
And
Okay.
Andrea,
Excuse me.
just to let you know,
I want to talk about change.
Greg Brown
Excuse
is
me.
very well respected
I want to talk
by many
about
people.
change.
I talk to him all the time when he comes in
I
the
wanna
office, and you know what he
talk
tells me?
about change.
He doesn't want to go into her office. He sits
Excuse
there and
me,
talks to
Lorraine.
me, and you can
Lorraine,
ask him that.
Excuse me.
Because he'll bring me his check.
Lorraine, excuse me?
Adjourn.
I'm not
Adjourn the
adjourning
meeting. Yes.
You don't have to stay. It's up to you. Linda Bloomer is our bookkeeper, and she's been here since shortly before I became supervisor. I encourage you all to talk to her about change. She was encouraged to leave prior to my arrival, but as an incredibly intelligent, independent woman, she decided to stay and witness the change.
Linda is awesome, by the way.
She can fairly and accurately attest to the change that this town board has brought to the town and the town finances, and it was all positive. Sharon and I are accused of doing nothing because there are no pictures posted, because we neglect to pose.
You didn't do
for
anything.
pictures.
You didn't do
We had been
anything.
the ones there at I Love You Park last year when it was cold. There was nobody else there, because I guess it wasn't an election year, is what I'm assuming. We just didn't,
Guess not.
we don't do the pictures, we just, not about, and I know this, you like this comment, but self-promotion. We're about rolling up our sleeves and working hard for the residents. You know, I was elected as vice president of the Supervisor and Mayor Association by my peers countywide. Great honor, but I didn't put out a picture. I didn't put the title under my title. I didn't do any of that.
Until now.
Well, you know, yeah, you're right.
Mary, the only reason
I
why you're
think-
doing this is because it's the
I
only
think-
airtime that you have. Nobody will listen to you other than
Yes,
this.
you're
And they're
absolutely
probably not even going to listen to
I
you now.
think that self-promotion is beneath the office of an elected official
Yes,
who
'cause it's
is
election
a
year for her and her
public
cronies.
servant. You know, somebody looked to see why I was not in, you know, see-through New York and not on the retirement system. Obviously something nefarious why I wasn't there. Well, let me tell you, I never joined. I never joined because I saw no reason for the taxpayers to fund my retirement. I've taken care of that myself. But that was put out there, more horse manure. I cost the taxpayers nothing. The building inspector's car, she was incredibly upset at the horse manure that was put out in social media about this car. Most, if not all, building inspectors have a vehicle. It was unusual that she didn't. You know, then the rumor went out that I was taking it home, I was riding it around. There was never an intent for that. I've never driven the car, I've never sat in the car. In all my time...
No, but you did tell her that if I ever needed to make sure it has no gas in it.
I never
Don't
said
forget
that.
that one. Yes,
Well,
you did.
you know what? We'll have her come to the next meeting
Have
and
her come,
discuss that.
because you know what?
I've
I would
never driven
love that.
it. Excuse me. I've never
Excuse you.
driven it, okay? And I've never put in to be reimbursed for mileage or gas. I've taken nothing.
I think that's.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay?
I'm giving you a compliment. I think it's very
Thank you.
cool that don't.
Well, that's fine. It's just the constant interruptions. I don't need applause, okay?
You're not getting it.
Okay, well, here we go. I'm accused of bullying, a toxic work environment, creating hostile work environment, yet I'm not sure how that door keeps getting locked between my side of the building and over there. Staff are incredibly on my side upset about it. There's no access when it's locked. They don't have keys, they have a fob. They can't get in. They can't access the postage meter, the time clock,
Mary,
the
what are you
AED,
talking? You walk
or the
around the
records
front of the
upstairs.
building. You don't even walk through my office. You walk
Excuse me.
outside to go around.
You know
I'm
what?
going to videotape you going
and
forward.
you can. Please
Don't
do.
worry.
Again, another act of hostility hostility.
There is
and
no
bullying
hostility.
by
You just don't like the answers that you're
Last-
receiving
you're
because you're
right.
100% wrong. So accuse away.
I'm not accusing.
You
I'm
are.
saying-
Mary,
what I'm
you
doing
are-
is
you know what?
Accusations are not
Everybody,
necessarily
why don't you
factual.
pull the video?
These are all factual.
Oh, right, they're factual in your own little mind.
Last week, an employee was upset, my first day back from Arizona, was upset about a toxic environment comment that was said. We're cleansing with sage. She was upset and offended. The payroll clerk has been harassed by, entering her office and videoing her, made her very uncomfortable and created a hostile environment for her. Staff, honestly, are frantic and upset about being dragged through the horse manure of the social media. They are not happy with it at all.
So Mary, just to go back really quick on your thing for the person who was videotaped. What came back on that videotape? Would you like me to play that? Because she was nasty and rude as an HR representative to me and to my deputy. And you and Sharon constantly harass, and I have numerous emails. It's just that Craig Wallace didn't want to do anything about it.
Elected officials should be held to a higher standard, especially when they're getting a full-time salary and benefits. Office shouldn't be closing early with notice or no notice, opening late with no advance notice. Social media notifications are not the official town site. A full-time salary should have a full-time commitment in the building, in your office.
It should have a what?
I've had a number of harassment complaints filed. The last one from the highway superintendent cost the town over 50 grand. It took 6 months. He said he had, he could produce the documents. He did not. It put me through unbelievable stress. My health has been seriously impacted. I went to the doctor, and Ezio will attest to this. There was a town board meeting I didn't come up to in the fall. He said, "You don't look good. Let me take your blood pressure." I've never had high blood pressure. He said at that point, "I think I should call an ambulance." And I said, "No, I'm not going. I just won't go upstairs." I went to my doctor's office the next day, and he said, someone I've dealt with for 36 years, he said to me, "Are you under any stress?" So I say to him, "Not really." And he says to me, "Mary, I'm aware of the social media sites in your town. You are under stress." I am now on high blood pressure medication. So I understand, excuse me, I'm not done. As a result, I have ocular migraines that I never had before as a result of this stress. As a result, I decided not to run for many reasons, including the stress I've been subjected to for over a number of years. The main reason, we sold our business in December after 38 years. I have grandchildren, 3, that are in Arizona. I just came back from the First Communion. Yeah, it is. Excuse me, I'm not running, I'm not campaigning. I am explaining to the residents why I'm not running. The decisions, the actions, that resulted in that. That man has asked me, my sons have asked me, as a result of the ugliness of social media and what I have been put through for a year and a half. I had the president of the union come another meeting where I was and declare I have blood on my hands simply because I was requiring that there was documentation for payroll. We have the state controller in. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best day to get her. Come in and ask her what she thinks about having the payroll certified by supplemental material. Ask her what she thinks. Frankly, I'm sorry, but you know what? I put up with it for a year and a half, what you people have put me through. If you don't care to hear it, it's okay. You're not forced to. These meetings are not being forced. But I'm going to explain to the rest of the public, because you know what? There's only a small group of you here screaming at me on a regular basis. The rest of the people need to hear.
It's just funny how you have a lot of
Frankly,
life to do and not
I said it wasn't for the town board. They actually had no idea I was doing this, okay? And I frankly decided late this afternoon. I'm wore out from the nonsense. I'm wore out from the horse manure. I just, you know what, my boots aren't tall enough to walk through it any longer. I did struggle with this decision, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because the staff I work with every single day begged me to run. The staff I work with every single day are dedicated professionals. They're town employees committed to do their best for the residents. They've got integrity, they're honest, they have perseverance, they are knowledgeable. All characteristics of these wonderful people, and I'm truly going to miss working with them every single day. Truly, I am going to miss them. They're a team. We would never have accomplished as much without them. They're the reason this town board, myself, the deputy, have been able to be successful. They're people who are hardworking, and they make sure that the town of Beekman operates in the most professional manner. I encourage anyone with questions to stop and visit them. They're a very talented group. Very talented. I know. I'm so sorry I'm taking your valuable time, but I am going to address some of this horse manure that's constantly out there. I mean, just silliness.
I would like to, address the stuff that goes inside the office.
Excuse me.
I would like to address some stuff that happens inside the office.
Excuse me.
That people don't know about. So please come by anytime and come into my office.
I didn't say what office to go to, Lorraine.
And please, anytime.
I didn't say what office
Because she won't
to
address
go
what
to.
she does to me and what she does to, you know, my office and my deputy, and how my deputy comes to me crying when she first started because she was being harassed over a door being unlocked by Sharon and Mary, but they only do it when I'm not there. So let's say that. Let's do that.
She normally unlocks the door.
No, I don't, Mary.
It is the
No,
ADA
and I'm not gonna
door.
I'm not gonna allow
If no other door gets opened,
Okay.
the handicap door is the only one that has to be opened. That was the request. I want to go back. I know.
This is what I deal
Let
with
me
on a day-to-day,
explain.
Lori.
You know, it's very interesting. A year and a half, you've been able to go on. I'm now responding, and that's a problem. I find that interesting. So, you know what? Lorene has, over the last year and a half, her husband has come and complained that she doesn't have enough staff. Let me explain what has gone on in that office, okay?
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry.
No, I would like to hear, let her speak, because I want to hear what goes on in my office,
Good.
because she has no clue what happens in my office. But go ahead.
The work
Go ahead.
of the tax receiver was done by you and your deputy town clerk, your prior.
Go ahead, keep going.
Because she says that she had a full-time deputy all along. I'm going to explain that, okay? Your office had managed to get all the tax receiver duties and town clerk duties done efficiently and accurately with the hours provided by
Because
the two
I
part-time
worked
individuals.
time and time again, and I was here on
There
weekends
was-
and Fridays.
Okay.
So that's
There
how it
was
got done.
One particular
By me.
tax collection, it was property tax 2022, where the extra clerk that comes in was not called in. In June of 2022, you came to me and you wanted the money divided for that deputy between you and the current deputy. I had to inform you that it was an annual budget for the entire year, then you could use it for the school taxes. And there was just, so you were able to get through that tax collection, and with the tax collection, with just the two of you and a part-time clerk, and everything else was up to date. Everything else was up to date. When that deputy left in June of 2024, the property taxes were 90% done, 95% done. She'd left a number of things that were completed. There were 3 or 4 days left in the collection. She left in the town clerk's shared drive detailed tax receiver notes, covering all aspects of the process. You claimed that the desktop that she took with her was a problem.
It was.
Desktops.
It was.
Let me
Because you
explain.
should have never taken that computer and taken it, but you did that on spite.
Every computer in our building, every staff member can access their accounts by their own passwords and signing in.
What happens when you don't have a computer to go into when you get back from vacation?
You had a computer.
So if you go on vacation
You
again and I
had-
go in your office and
How
take your
many-
computer,
how many
what happens
How
then?
many computers do you
What
have
happens
in your
then?
office? How many computers?
I have 3.
Okay.
But they don't all have the admins and the
desktop,
BAS service on there. But there you
that
go.
she left
You have no idea what
3.
happens in my
You had
office.
3.
Again, and you're supposed to have a liaison as the town board. Each person on the town board is supposed to be a
Understand.
liaison for
Let
each
me
department,
explain.
which you chose not to
She
do.
says no one wants to help her. For the first 3.5 years, everyone helped her while she learned the job.
No, I learned it on my own, but thank you.
3.5 years, they helped you, okay? For 3.5 years. The former clerk was not part-time, okay? And let me tell you, she went from a part-time employee to a full-time employee beginning March 2020, okay? She was delegated to work in 3 departments. The hours were spent based on the need of the department on any given day. The town clerk's office got first choice. She picked Mondays and Tuesdays. All of the duties that the deputy clerk does, such as marriage, death, dog license, handicap license, hunting, fishing, email, phone correspondence, scanning documents for record keeping into Laserfiche, such as vouchers, were done by her. As the deputy tax receiver, she was responsible for all the tax accounts, to reconcile the property, school, and credit card accounts every month, as well as complete and submit the property and school settlement documents after the completion of each collection. The deputy tax receiver's duties included correspondence with residents and mortgage companies, school districts, and the county. She performed data entry into the BAS system for processing tax payments, and she was the sole notary in the town clerk's office that she performed on a regular basis. On Wednesdays, she was assigned to the assessor's office, and her duties there were corresponding with email, phone, and in person with residents, exemption applications, intake, and data entry, record keeping, annual grievance application intake, and record keeping along with grievance day minutes. All required legal notices for that department. Data entry that included exemptions, removals, and deed updates in the county software program. She attended assessor and assessor clerk's monthly meetings. Thursdays were spent and delegated to the building department. Typical duties that were performed were municipal searches, correspondence, permit applications, data entry into the software programs. In March of 2024, she began working in my office on a Thursday. She worked on special projects, county and state grants that the town was awarded. She completed the required documentations for reimbursement. She helped in the creation of the 5 branches of service monuments, along with the rec director and Sharon in Remembrance Park. She worked on the new town website and got everybody on board with that. She maintained all up-to-date information and created an MFA in place for town employees with the IT department, which took some time. All of those duties at that point were performed at her desk, which was located in the town clerk's office. Didn't mean she worked in the town clerk's office full-time. Yes, there was a resolution that moved her from deputy clerk from part-time to full-time. 8/11/20 was the resolution. Go back and look at the website, the video. I clearly, as I do when I explain all of the resolutions, I spoke about the increased hours were that she would be working in various departments for the extra hours. The building department, her tasks in there included research, organizing, building permits, scheduling, incoming calls, incomplete applications, follow-up, municipal searches, filing, and ordering files. I think the town clerk was totally aware that she was part-time in her office as she signed her timesheets that clearly documented her time in the other departments. It was clearly documented. So some of the stuff out there is, why does the town supervisor have 2 full-time assistants when she claims she has none? Well, on some days, I'd really like to meet them because when my plate is full, it would be nice to have 2 full-time assistants. As I said, the senior clerk works in my office on special projects only on Thursday. Sharon Warman, who is the council person in her role, receives $7,514. She gets an additional stipend of $2,600, comes in every day full-time. Sometimes the 2 of us are here as we were last Friday, okay, working on certain things on a Friday.
I wish do something to ease the pain that people are feeling. There will be an election.
Pray. Prayer is good. It solves everything.
Yes.
So,
Maybe there could be a forum for people that
yeah,
give
okay.
their points of view. Debate or something.
My salary, I just want to finish up. Thank you, Bill. Is a total annual salary of $20,436. In the past, both of the council person and the supervisor were handled by part-time elected officials. They opted to do their position part-time and had additional clerks. The annual compensation package for the senior clerk to come into my office is $18,292.04. Clearly, any fair-minded individual would not interpret the fact that Councilman Moorman, who in the past, and she's not obligated to work full-time with me, and the recent addition of the 1 day a week, that I have 2 full-time assistants, of 2 full-time people. It's so misleading. It's so misleading. Again, shoveling that horse manure out to the residents. It's clearly appreciated the amount of time that Councilwoman Warman contributes to assisting, but this is contribution of her time above and beyond the duties of a member of the town board. And her financial contribution clearly reflects that. So factually, I do not have 2 full-time employees. It just is not true. But again, that's put out there on a regular basis.
What does that say when there's so much confusion?
So-
and everything is so convoluted that people are unclear about what your process and procedures are, Mary?
No, in conclusion, okay, in conclusion, I think I've also been accused of hiring friends or acquaintances. I can tell you I've never hired or appointed a friend or acquaintance or anyone in my family. They've become friends and acquaintances because they're on the boards, but not prior to that. In conclusion, I want to end with this. You'll never be criticized by someone who's doing more than you. You'll always be criticized by someone doing less. Thank you.
That's perfect. That's
All in
perfect.
favor?
So I would like to say
Done.
something. So I
Done.
take great pride
Meeting is
in
done.
everything that I do.
Done.